Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's take a few minutes today and talk about these Duckett Fishing Torch Series rods. Are they any good? Should you spend your money on them? Stick around and find out. Before I get into the rod review, I do feel like I owe some of you folks a bit of an apology. It's been like a month since I've posted anything. I started a new job, haven't had the opportunity to go fishing a whole lot. We've not done any hiking or kayaking or anything, so I've just not had much content to share, but I'm going to work hard and try to make that happen. So let's dive in. So as a lot of you are finding out, I've only been serious about fishing for a couple of years now. And like most of you, when I first got started, I went out to one of the big box retail stores and bought some fairly inexpensive equipment to get me started. I didn't really know what I needed, didn't really know what was going to be good quality or bad quality, and I didn't want to spend very much. I'm not going to say that a one-size-fits-all fishing rod setup would not work just fine. Obviously it does. That's what I started out with. But as you get a little more serious about it and you find having multiple rods would be nice where you're not constantly having to do lure changes. And B, you can kind of tailor a rod reel setup specific for the type of lure that you want to throw. And that brings us to the topic at hand. So I had done a little research online about Duckett, and honestly, you kind of find like there are some people that love them, some people hate them, some people buy them, use them for years and years religiously and never have a single issue. Some folks seem to break them right out of the box. I kind of wanted to form my own opinion, so I went down to a local sporting goods store. It's kind of a ma and pa store, if you will, and they're a Duckett dealer. And so I walked in and immediately fell in love with these Torch Series rods, and I'm going to show you why. The first feature that really jumped out at me with these Torch Series rods obviously has to be the grip. I love EVA grip on a rod. I just find it very comfortable, good traction in your hands, and these fit that bill. I like how the nut in front of the reel seat has EVA on it as well. So if you've got your pointer finger out there, top or bottom on the rod, it's just comfortable. The cork bands do add a little bit of texture to it, and they look really cool. So you've got a cork band where the palm of your hand would be, and then in the butt end of the grip. Just makes for a really attractive package. And while I'm on the subject of aesthetics, can't not mention the carbon fiber scrim, and leading into this kind of a burnt orange copper color, and then the fade to white, which Duckett is known for their white rods. Definitely makes for a very appealing, attractive rod. So like many of you, I've got quite a few other rod and reel setups. I actually have a couple of other Ducketts that are not the Torch Series rods. I've got an older Silverado. It's a bait caster set up for cranking. And then I've got a Ghost spinning combo. All right, so just kind of hit the highlights on what I've got here. I've got a 7-foot medium heavy fast action. Typically use that for heavier jigs, chatterbaits. I've got a buzz bait on it right now. Might throw a bigger spinner bait on there. Moving to the one in the middle, this is a spinning combo. Obviously, this is a 7-foot medium. I've got a weightless Texas rig on it now. I might do creature style Texas rig, weighted or unweighted. I've also used it a little bit. Getting into this whole live scope thing with jig head minnow. And then finally over here, this is a 6'10" medium fast action. I've got like a 3/8 ounce jig tied onto this one at the moment. And typically I keep a jig on this one, just vary the colors through the years. I like keeping a jig on the deck. That's just something that's very versatile, obviously. So I picked all three of these up like first part of the year, the middle of winter, and I've been playing with them all summer long. This medium heavy, that's my workhorse. I use it a lot. It gets changed out a lot, underspins and everything like I mentioned earlier. And then with the jig, I keep this one handy quite a bit, so it gets used a lot. I haven't used the spinning combo quite as much, but I have had an opportunity to play with all of them for several months now. So I feel like at this point, I've kind of put them through their paces, and I think I can give them a fair review. I've already kind of mentioned the EVA grips, I think, are probably the highlight of this series for me, and then I think it's an attractive looking rod, especially when you compare it up with some good looking reels like that. But One other thing I want to mention is how lightweight they are. So if you're like myself, you're a weekend warrior, you get out for 3 or 4 hours, maybe 6 hours, you don't have the conditioning to go out there and handle a big heavy rod all day long. It's going to fatigue you. You're going to get tired, especially if you're throwing a heavier lure. And while they're lightweight, they're still very sensitive as well. Take this one right here as an example with that buzz bait. You know, if I cast that out, I'm actually watching the lure come back to me, waiting for that blow up to happen. But if I've got a chatterbait or something like that on, or if a jig and I'm kind of working a jig a little slower, maybe finessing it a little bit, you can feel that bass hit the lure. So you've got some good sensitivity there, but they're not so limber out on the end like a dish rag that you don't have good power to set the hook. And so that's, in my opinion, that's extremely important for a newer angler like myself. Price point wise, I think these are coming in around $100 or maybe $110 now. I'm not exactly sure. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. I've been playing with these all summer long. They've been in the kayak, they've been in the boat, wet, dry. I have had zero issues with any of them. Been very pleased. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of wanting to add a 4th torch rod to my lineup. I'm wanting to go with something about a 7.3 or 7.4 heavy, maybe, for frogging and punching. But yeah, I would highly recommend these. You know, if you're kind of in that like I was in the beginning, where you've got some fairly inexpensive stuff to get you started, and you're looking to upgrade without spending $400, $500, $600 on a rod, these are definitely worth the money. I'd love to hear from some of you folks, so if you don't mind, leave me a comment below. If you've had Duckett rods, you've had a good experience or a bad experience with them, or if you're looking into them for the first time. Just kind of wanted to give my take on these now that I've had some time to play with them, and give my opinion on if they're worth the money. So I hope at some point maybe some of you found this video informative. And if you have, if you like this kind of content, you want me to continue doing this kind of stuff, give a consideration to hitting that like and subscribe button for me. That's going to continue motivating me to get back into doing some videos.